Obviously, I'm looking forward to all of these books or I wouldn't have got them. Hi friends, it's Gwen. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do my summer book haul. I have a lot of books here to share with you. I just got in my book outlet order and I wanted to share that with you as well. So I figured now is the perfect time to share all of the books that I have been accumulating lately. The first 4 books that I got, I picked up at my local Books A Million, and I went in randomly one day and I saw that they were closing down. Everything was 20% off, so I went ahead and picked up some of my favorites that I have been wanting for a while, and I went ahead and went on a limb with a couple of others. I went to the YA section and I picked up 2 Nina LaCour novels. The first one I picked up is We Are Okay by Nina LaCour. The second one I picked up is Hold Still by Nina LaCour. I have already read both of these, so I will share my full thoughts in an upcoming wrap up, so stay tuned for that. But let me tell you a little bit why I picked these up. Number 1, they're by Nina LaCour and I've heard great things. Number 2, they're short and they were 20% off of $10.99, so I spent about $8 per book. And you can see the Prince Award right here. I've been hearing great things and I love the covers. We Are Okay is about our main character that rushes off to college really without saying goodbye or letting her best friend know why she left so suddenly. And the answer stems from basically her mother died when she was young and she was living with her grandparents, specifically her grandfather. And her grandfather recently passed and she discovered some secrets that he was keeping from her, and she just had to run away from those problems. So it deals with grief, mental illness, death, things like that. Hold Still by Nina LaCour is about a girl whose best friend commits suicide, takes her own life, and it's about the friend overcoming or working through her grief and going into the next school year without her best friend by her side, and kind of just living life after, you know, her best friend's suicide. So I read both of these. Stay tuned for my thoughts. These are really fast reads, but they deal with difficult topics. So next book that I picked up is Dry by Neal Shusterman and Jared Shusterman. And this is basically like, what if one day you go to turn on the water and there's nothing coming out? So it says at the very bottom, when the California drought escalates to catastrophic proportions. Then in Alyssa's quiet suburban street, it spirals into a war zone over water. So, I mean, it sounds like something that like could actually possibly happen, which gives it like an extra horrifying, scary level to it. And then the next book that I got at that sale is The Death of Mrs. Westaway by Ruth Ware. If you've been following my channel for a while, you know I have been reading Ruth Ware's books. I read In a Dark Dark Wood, The Woman in Cabin 10. There was another one. This tells the story of Harriet, who is a little bit down on her luck, and she randomly receives this letter that says, your grandmother has passed away, come to the estate and collect your inheritance. And she knows that it's not meant for her because her grandparents passed away like more than 20 years ago, but she still goes. And when she gets there, there's other members of the family there to collect their inheritance. And it just it says that something very, very wrong about the strange situation and the inheritance is at the center of it. And I've heard that this is from people that haven't really loved Ruth Ware. This is their favorite book so far. So I'm really interested in that one because I have pretty much enjoyed Ruth Ware's other books, especially Woman in Cabin 10. A recent pre-order for me was Ask Again Yes by Mary Beth Keane, author of Fever. A lot of people were giving this early hype, saying it reminded them a lot of Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng, and that it was just like really good. But it's about 2 families, I think they're neighbors in a suburban town, and just kind of like the life between those families, like their connection. If there's two rookie cops in the NYPD that live next door to each other outside the city, and what happens behind closed doors in both houses. The loneliness of Francis's wife Lena and the instability of Brian's wife Anna sets the stage for the explosive events to come. And I think that their children fall in love with each other and stuff like that. So I'm really looking forward to this one, and I really do love this cover so much. But yeah, I am looking forward to this one. Obviously, I'm looking forward to all of these books, or I wouldn't have got them. You guys know that Taylor Jenkins Reid is one of my all-time favorite authors, and there's 2 or 3 books that I do not own by her, so I made it my mission to go ahead and pick up the books that I didn't have. So I got one of them already. The other is on the way to me. I should have it by Friday, but I'm a little bit impatient, so I will just pop in the picture of the book that I'm talking about that I'm waiting to receive, but I have already received my copy of After I Do. And this is about a modern married couple who things aren't working in their marriage, so they decide to take a year break, and basically they come up with a plan that they're not going to contact each other for 1 year. Basically like a love story about what happens when love fades, and I just know I'm gonna cry in this book. Like, I can already feel it because her characters feel so like real and authentic, and the storylines just always like hit me right in the gut. So I know I'm in for a wild ride with this one. Also have been hearing tons of stuff about A House at the Bottom of the Lake by Josh Malerman. This is the shortest little book ever. It's almost like a poetry collection. It's only like 116 pages. This tells the story of 17-year-old teenage couple that go out on a date on a canoe like out in this river, and here they are right here, and they notice a house beneath the lake, and they decide to like dive down and look what's going on with the house, and crazy things start happening. So I'm really excited about this one, and I've heard so many good reviews of this book. It's just, I think it's going to be a wild ride, and it is considered a horror story, which I don't read a lot of, but I'm really excited to jump into the genre. Next up, I picked up The Girl He Used to Know by Tracy Garvis Graves. I picked this up because she wrote On the Island, and I'm reading that for Romanceathon, and I saw that this is her newest release. This is about a guy and a girl that meet during college, and they seem like total opposites, but they still manage to come together, and they're in a relationship, and then something catastrophic happens and they break up. And then years later, I'm not sure how many years later, a decade later, fate unites the two, and they kind of go about exploring and telling each other like what's happened since, and they rekindle their romance. I also think this has one of the most gorgeous covers I've ever seen. Okay, then I went to Barnes & Noble today to buy books for my friend Allie. Allie is here on BookTube, and she does teacher content as well as BookTube content. I will have her channel linked down in the description box of this video, but I randomly wanted to surprise her with something from her wish list, and it's a very long story, which I'm sure I have explained in another video, but I tried to send her something, it didn't work out. I tried to send her something else, it didn't work out. So I finally went to Barnes & Noble today and picked her out 2 books in physical copy and sent them to her through the post office myself with a tracking number. So hopefully she'll receive these books, and I'm really excited about what I got for her. But when I was looking in the section for her, I found 3 books that I wanted for me, so I picked those up, and they're like kind of contemporary romance stories. Well, 2 of them are, and one is kind of like a family story. First one I actually had on my Amazon wish list, so I saw it in store and I just decided to pick it up, and it's Fix Her Up, and it's about our main character Georgette, who is basically, I guess her family runs a renovation business, but she decides that she really likes working at children's birthday parties, I guess specifically like as a clown. She just likes making people laugh and stuff like that. and she hasn't been on a date forever, but I guess that she decides that she's gonna like turn things around, and Travis Ford is her brother's, I think it was her brother's best friend or something like that. Yeah, his best friend's sister. So I guess that they do like they fake date to kind of like prove, but then the girl Travis used to tease is now a funny, full of life woman, and there's nothing fake about how much he wants her. And he's like this Major League Baseball hottest rookie, and he got injured, and he's going around like flipping houses and stuff. So yeah, so it's kind of like fake dating trope and just like cute summer romance. And I also thought this book had a really cute cover, and it's called Fight or Flight, and they're like on an airplane, so I think that's really cool. It's about a man and a woman that I guess first bump into each other on a flight, and they kind of get on each other's nerves, but despite that, they have a layover, and they have a steamy layover, lands them in bed for the steamiest layover Ava's ever had, and that's all that it was planning to be, is just like a one and done. But the two keep bumping into each other, and he proposes they enjoy their physical connection while he's stranded in Boston. And then I guess he decides that he's staying in Boston, and she has to decide, like, does she want to stay and make it work, or does she not? But even if she decides to risk her heart on Caleb, there's no, like, she's not sure if he will reciprocate her feelings. Then in the bargain price section, I found Today Will Be Different by Maria Semple, and this is the author that wrote Where'd You Go, Bernadette? And I have read that before, and while I wasn't like a super fan of that book, a lot of people absolutely loved it. I thought it was good, it was entertaining, I read it fairly quickly, but it wasn't like my favorite of all time. But it is being made into a movie, which I am really looking forward to. This is another book by that same author. This one is about Eleanor Flood. It says she knows she's a mess, but today she's going to tackle all of the things that she considers chaotic in her life. She's going to shower and get dressed, play with her son, have sex with her husband, and then what happens the day that she decides to make everything better, her life basically falls apart. Things go wrong with her son, things go wrong with her husband, and then a relic from the past threatens to expose a family secret. And it seems like it's going to be about motherhood, middle age, faith, and the risks of facing up to your former selves so we can truly begin living. Some pictures here. I don't know like why they're there, but I'm interested, so I'll be picking that up this summer for sure. Next thing I'm going to share with you is my book outlet order. No, I am not a book outlet vlogger, friend. No, I do not have a page, but I have been ordering from Book Outlet for a very long time. They have some really great deals, and let's see how many books I got. I got 4 books. Yes. And it's such a variety that I got too. So I'm just going to pull the books out in the order that they're packed in here. So I have Her Every Fear by Peter Swanson. I have read one book by Peter Swanson. I have another book by Peter Swanson on my TBR. And now I have another one on there. I'm not sure what this one particularly is about, but it is a psychological thriller. Katie Pretty is always a bit neurotic, but after an ex-boyfriend kidnapped her and nearly ended her life, her bouts of anxiety began exploding into full-blown panic attacks. When Corbin Dell, a cousin in Boston, suggests the two temporarily swap apartments, Kate agrees, hoping that time away in a new place will help her overcome the past traumas of her life. But at Corbin's grand apartment on Beacon Hill, Kate makes a shocking discovery. His next-door neighbor, a young woman named Audrey, has been murdered. So that sounds like it's going to be very fun and fast-paced. So I got that one. I also picked up the second book in the Caraval series, Legendary, the second book. I did before have a chance to get an autographed copy, but I passed that up, and I'm so glad I did because I got this one for like around $5. And I almost picked up Finale today, which is so funny because I was like, I don't even have a copy of Legendary, and I totally forgot that I ordered this. But Caraval, a lot of people compared it to the Night Circus, and I think a lot of people were disappointed because of that. At the time that I read Caraval, I had not read the Night Circus, and I was fine with that, because after reading the Night Circus, I realized that the two were really nothing alike. Caraval was like a play, an elaborate play. It was an event put on by the city, and it was very elaborate and carnival-like, but it was a play. It wasn't actually the circus. It wasn't actually the carnival. So I'm really excited to see where this goes. This has been out for a very long time because already the third and final book of the trilogy is out. But there's that one. And then the last two in here, I got The Rattled Bones by S.M. Parker. Books on Lala has been raving about this. I know it's Maine-bred, independent Ryla Bray is no stranger to the deep. She knows the rhythms of hard work and harder seas, but when she experiences the sudden death of her father, the veil between the living and the dead blurs, and she begins to be haunted by a girl on a nearly uninhabited island. The girl floats a song over the waves, and it is beautiful and terrifying, familiar and distant. So I remember her talking a lot about it, but I don't remember specifically things that she was saying, but I know that she liked it, so I went ahead and picked that up. And then the last book that I got in my order is A Madness So Discreet by Mindy McGinnis. I have read a couple of other books by her now. I read The Female of the Species and Not a Drop to Drink, and Not a Drop to Drink was good. Female of the Species, good. I'm hoping I like this one a little bit better. I believe this is set in a asylum. She keeps locked away with her voice, trapped deep inside her brilliant mind. She cannot forget horrific family secrets. Yes, so she is in the Boston insane asylum, and she's banished to the dark cellars where her mind is discovered by a visiting doctor who babbles in the new study of criminal psychology. With her keen eyes and sharp memory, she will make the perfect assistant at crime scenes. After escaping to an ethical asylum with the doctor's help, Grace continues to operate under the cloak of madness and must now hunt a murderer while she confronts the demons of her own past. So this sounds like kind of terrifying too, so I may save this for like fall, like September, October time, but I've been wanting it for a while, so I went ahead and picked it up on the cheap. So these are the books that I got for my summer book haul. I do have that other Taylor Jenkins Reid book coming, and I hope that I can get to a lot of these this summer. That's the goal. That's the goal. I do plan to do a summer TBR after I get through a couple of readathons that I'm currently participating in. But thank you guys so much for joining me. Let me know if you have read any of these and any of these books are your favorites, or which ones you're most interested to hear my thoughts on in a wrap up, and I'll try to prioritize those. But that's all for today's video. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you're all having a lovely day, and I'll see you again in my next video. Bye!